Some big news on the NFL as Antonio Brown has somehow been released and signed in the same day. Well, due to NFL rules, I can't really show you Steelers highlights because the game is not over. I mean, come on, what fun is that? We have been in Texas, so you know that what that means, Peter, is we've been eating a lot. Right. Like almost too much. But we talked with some Penn State players before they made the trip to Dallas about what it would be like to play in this colossal venue. Some of their shots looked a little bit like that, and it's pretty relatable to the casual golfers. Hall of Fame quarterbacks, and they're just like us. In a game where you have 92 points scored combined between the two teams, that we're talking about someone on the defensive side of the ball. You can tell, man, that we're having fun. It might be getting a little ridiculous. The costume, I got the helmet, I got the jersey. Well, 5 weeks later, it's like it happened 3 years ago. Ironically, the last home game the Curve played was against the Rubber Ducks, as the Rubber Ducks knocked them out of the Eastern League playoffs last year. Punters are people too. People need to remember that. And then this morning on Instagram, which Peter is, ramping back up, he decided to say, hey, Raiders, release me. Well, within a couple hours, they released him. That's a very tough question. Took only about a couple hours in my bracket. Garbage. Police stopped the Steelers star wide receiver this morning and cited him for reckless driving as he was traveling at speeds of more than 100 miles an hour. Will you ever have one of those days where you feel like you're just a step behind? Now try imagining that happening since the day that you were born. For one Bedford track runner, that's reality, but it doesn't stop his drive to the finish.
He does have that determination that he wants to get up and try it, and that the world's not going to stop him.
There's not much Davis Crawley can't do.
He likes to go out of the box and do things that he probably shouldn't want to do, or maybe shouldn't be able to do.
But he doesn't worry about what he can't control.
He's a very positive person. He's very entertaining. You always see him. He's always happy and jumpy.
Despite everything he's gone through,
he doesn't let his disabilities stop him at all.
Davis suffers from hypotonic cerebral palsy. At the age of 3, doctors had to disconnect the right and left half of his brain to stop seizures. It's what causes his unique running style, which is a miracle in itself.
Davis was never supposed to walk. They had told me at a very early age that he wouldn't be expected to walk. So just him, toddling around, and when he started crawling and then when he started walking, that was like, oh my gosh, he's actually doing it.
Limited by what sports he could play, Davis took to the track.
I always loved to run.
He's not the fastest. His condition causes him to fall frequently, but his confidence, it never wavers.
I know I'm going to fall during the season, but you got to get back up. When you fall down, you got to get back up and keep going.
And his impact stretches from lane to lane.
I've heard many of our athletes say, I didn't feel like getting up today, but, looking at what Davis does, and Davis never quits, and he never refuses to try something new.
And his team pays it right back.
It's not only his team, but it's the teams from the other counties and stuff, and the coaches, that they're all there at the finish line, or they're making a tunnel and they're cheering him on, and giving him that extra boost to keep going and to sprint past it and to finish.
Come on, Davis! Come on, keep going!
It gives me energy and motivation, man. I just, at the home stretch, I just push it.
Davis pushes it every day towards the finish line, a long way from thinking he would never walk. But through all of Davis's struggles, he's gained acceptance.
We just honestly look at him as a normal teammate. Like, we look past the disabilities and we just think of him as like a teammate.
A source of inspiration, one step at a time.
I love every minute of it. I couldn't be prouder of him at all.
From Beaver Stadium to Kinnick Stadium to the Rose Bowl, Nittany Nation is always present. But in the last quarter century, a new wrinkle in the fan base by these 3 guys who, once you see them, you just know.
It's all right. It's good.
Game days for John, David, and Paul Duda are different than most.
It's kind of become part of who we are.
The three brothers grew up just down the street from Penn State.
As we got older, we started doing the, parking cars and taking booze away from college students, college students.
And then in 1992, the Duda boys had an idea.
Just started wearing the masks that we got at a garage sale after the '85 Orange Bowl.
And with a 30-cent investment, 3 characters were born.
I'm not ashamed of it. I have an alter ego.
Originally designed to be the 12th man, they are now known as the Big Uglies, a phrase coined by legendary sportscaster Hugh Jackson.
You guys look like you're ready to go.
Morphed the Dudas into superfan status.
I think if anybody does anything, at Penn State or anything else, at a certain point you're going to get recognized. Sometimes it's for something amazing, and sometimes you're just putting on tights and playing around for the weekend.
Their identity, for the most part, is a secret.
A lot of people don't know that it's, 55-year-old guys behind these masks, and we take them off and we're like, whoa.
And once inside Beaver Stadium, they're like any other fans, rowdy, but with a tad more enthusiasm.
We used to run up the stands a lot more than we do these days.
But you'll never hear those egos.
High five, yeah!
Really, it's all about the fans. We're just part of that fan base, which is unbelievable.
From Iowa City
What those guys will look like when they put their Halloween masks on.
to Evanston, Illinois,
Those are Penn State fans, not Penn State football players. Look like former linebackers.
to right here in central Pennsylvania,
Do you know where your kids are today?
the passion for Penn State persists. And the brothers say the toughest part about their costume is the mask. After trying to find replacements all over the internet, after one time they broke, they finally just decided to make a mold of it. Well, all over the United States, senior high school athletes are waiting, begging, pleading for another chance, one more moment to represent their hometown. But for one Altoona baseball player, 2 years ago, all he wanted was another day. Brendan Coons should be playing baseball right now.
It really sucks, honestly. You always look forward to your senior year of baseball. It's just the year that's your year.
An arena for him to shine.
Baseball was just like my place to go.
Until it almost wasn't.
I shouldn't even been alive. I have no idea how it was possible.
In March of 2018, Brendan was playing varsity baseball.
We were 4 days away from Virginia, going down for our annual trip every year.
Coons was on his way to his dad's house after practice.
I remember putting my bat bag in the trunk, and that's honestly the last thing I remember.
For all manner of fire, request a response for a motor vehicle accident, possible entrapment.
I just couldn't really move that well. Everything was blurry.
It's probably the worst feeling that a parent can endure.
Brendan was in a car accident. His car rolled.
Wow, like the car was literally a ball. Like that's what it looked like. It looked like a metal ball.
Brendan broke 3 bones in his left arm, fractured his orbital bone, his collarbone, lacerated his spleen and kidney.
That was the worst time of my life, probably. I was really scared I wasn't ever going to be able to play baseball again. That's what really hit home.
But you could say divine intervention helped him.
The surgeon came out and actually knew Brendan from travel baseball, the one trauma surgeon, and he purposely didn't put the PICC line in his clavicle because he said he knows that's his throwing arm. So that was kind of made us chuckle at the time, but it was very surreal.
After missing his entire sophomore season, Brendan finally found the field.
When I started playing baseball, I knew I could, that was honestly the best feeling I had in a long time. I was so happy. Just having that type of moment where you can just know that you're back to where you were. You made it.
Brendan Coons survived a horrible car accident. His scars tell only part of the story.
He always says, "Mom, they're so ugly," but that's part of who he is now. He's come so far.
Waiting for one more day to shine on the diamond. And whether or not Brendan will play in an Altoona uniform again, he will resume his baseball career next year at Mansfield University. We'll be right back.